Walk me to the moon.
What's up, y'all? Bunny Chaff here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon FireRed. Last time, we got our first badge from Brock, the Pewter Seed Gym Leader, who was surprisingly easy, especially with me being lower level than I should have been. And we also caught ourselves a new teammate in Kingpin, the Nidoran male. We also caught some more Pokemon. Off screen, I did some grinding, as you can tell. Kingpin is now level 13, and he's learned a couple new moves in Focus Energy, which will raise my chance of getting a critical hit, and Double Kick, a nice fighting type move that hits twice. I went into the next dungeon. I know that was probably bad of me. Well, it was. You'll see why it was bad. I also caught some Pokemon. So yeah, we're gonna go into our next dungeon, Mount Moon. Okay, so when I was grinding, I made an oopsie poopsie. Let's see, we're gonna put on repels. Repels are really nice for dealing with wild encounters. It prevents Pokemon from appearing for 100 steps, so really nice, especially for caves, where you can't really avoid wild encounters. Over here, there's a item you can grab, and it's TM09 Bullet Seed. I accidentally grabbed it when I was grinding and catching Pokemon. Here, I'll show you that right now in our lovely TM case. I never got to show this off in the last episode. But yeah, here's our TM for beating Brock, and there's Bullet Seed. I also wanted to show that I'm going to use our first TM on Fuzzy Wuzz. Because Fuzzy Wuzz here needs some good old coverage. I'm ready to replace Scratch with it. Rock Tomb's nice, it helps dealing with the flying types and bug types. The only problem with it, it's really inaccurate. Well, not really. 80% accuracy. Kind of aids, but not the worst, as you'll see. So yeah, let's fight this trainer, I guess. So there's some new Pokemon in here. Two of them I've caught. No, three of them I've caught. I'm going to say this right now. Once you beat this cave, it's going to be a long time before you get back in here. If you want to catch the Pokemon in here, I highly recommend you do it now, because there's two you won't be seeing for like a long time. Those two are Paris and the infamous Clefairy. I say infamous because Clefairy is really well known in Mount Moon. It is the Pokemon of Mount Moon. Do I know why? I think it's something to do with correlation about their lore. It's like moon shards or whatever, because Clefairies I think came from like space or something like that. I can't quite remember. Oh man, it's so nice to have Kingpin now level 13. We can actually use him in battle, and we don't have to switch train him. Good way to grind was, at least for Kingpin, was to go to Viridian Forest, because since we have a flying type move, it shreds a lot of the bugs there. And it's a dead Kakuna. So I don't recommend catching Paris, which was the other Pokemon. I don't know if I mentioned that. The other Pokemon to catch here is Paris. You want to catch Paris because you'll see later on why. Because I caught one, luckily. And I actually caught a Clefairy. But you don't want to catch those two in this spot of Mount Moon. Because they're really low encounter rates. Paris is like 5% of the time, and Clefairy is 1% of the time on the first floor of Mount Moon. I think there's a hidden item in one of these craters. Yeah, so like Clefairy has deep connections with the moon, and they pretty much are known for living here. Oh, she's a trainer. There's Clefairy right now. It's basically like Jigglypuff, but a better Jigglypuff. It's stronger, and I think has more well-rounded bulky stats. You can evolve them pretty early, because they both evolve by Moonstone. They both have Q-Charm. I almost used Clefairy on my team, but I decided against it because I don't really care for Q-Charm. I much prefer its ability in the Generation 4 games and onward in Magic Guard. Really awesome ability. It's really good. I'll talk about that more, I guess, some other time because Magic Guard's not really relevant in this game. We actually want to go down that ladder. I don't have many repels here. I could have bought more, but I'm trying to conserve my money. There's a thing that I want to do that costs quite a bit of money, and I'm trying to conserve as much as I can. In here, in the basement first floor, there's 100% encounter rate for Parises. Parises? Paris. Just Paris. And this is where you want to find your Paris. Also, mushrooms here. Big mushrooms and their counterparts, tiny mushrooms, are selling items, but I do not recommend selling them. Whatever you do, do not sell them, or else you're going to have to go grind them off of wild Paris, which are fine. So Paris holds big and tiny mushrooms. You just have to use a move called Thief and not have an item on your Pokemon to steal them off the Paris. They're really good for something much later on, so don't sell the mushrooms, whatever you do. I made that mistake before, and it wasn't that fun to grind, but it's good to have them. Who are these fellas? We, Team Rocket, are Pokemon gangsters. We strike fear with our strength. Yes, this is our first occurrence of the evil team of this game. Every Pokemon game has an evil team. And this is the big baddie, Team Rocket. The classic evil team. Because these guys are basically gangsters. Like, legit. They're basically the mob of this game. It's kind of fucked up in a way. Especially with what they do with some Pokemon. Here's the main Pokemon you'll find in caves. Everyone knows and loves them. Zubat! They're generally pretty freaking fast. That's why... I never turned on battle animations. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't pay attention well. Anyways, before I got sidetracked. Zubats. Pretty fast. They're really fast Pokemon, especially at this point in the game. So you'll have a hard time running away from them. Star Pieces. Those are really great for selling. So, Zubats in this game. Really great, really fast Pokemon. They're not that good until you evolve them at like level 22. But yeah, Zubats aren't great until they learn Wing Attack, which you're pretty far from. Yeah, and they evolve in level 22. They stop evolving in the original games, Red, Blue, and Yellow. However, they can evolve in this game, kinda. So, in Generation 2, they introduced a style of Pokemon evolution called Friendship Evolutions, where if your Pokemon has a high enough friendship, they'll evolve. So, Golbat, which is Zubat's evolved form, when it has a high enough friendship, it'll fully evolve into its final form, Crobat, which is really freaking fast and a really great Pokemon. However, in this game, they programmed Crobat in, but not really. So when you're Golbat, if you do decide to use Golbat, be warned. Your Golbat, if it has high enough friendship, after every time it levels up, you will have to sit through the evolution animation. But it will never evolve. Because for whatever reason, they programmed the evolution animation for it, but you can't evolve it until you beat the game. In the post-game, you can evolve your Golbat into Crobat finally. So if you do decide to use Golbat, just be forewarned. You're going to see that evolving animation all shitload. And it is not fun. It is really stupid on why they did that. I don't understand it. Why did they just let you have Crobat? That's the one thing I don't like about this game. There's certain Pokemon that have Generation 2 evolutions, and you can't use them. One of them, I understand, kinda, but they could have made a way for you to get them. We'll get into that Pokemon much later. But for now, we're talking about Zubat and how it's stupid. So Different topic. These super nerds generally have electric-type Pokemon, such as the Magnemite, as you first saw. Magnemites, I think, were a bit more difficult to deal with in the first games because they were just pure electric. Now, since this is a game after Generation 2, they have the electric steel typing, which they did not have before. So they got more weaknesses now. But it's a good typing for it. The only problem is that now, since I have a fighting type, I can easily kill it. My Pokemon won't do. If you have a ground type move, you'll be really A-okay because Magnemites are quad weak to those. Also they have Voltorbs. Voltorbs are known for being really freaking fast and going boom. How do they go boom? They got a move called Self-Destruct and Explosion they can learn, which is a deadly move. Until you've leveled up enough. If you're high enough leveled, an explosion from an electrode will be devastating. It will do a lot, but they're not that strong. Voltorbs and electrodes are pretty weak in general, but they're really fast though. That's the only good thing about them. They're really fast. They're also really annoying because they have an ability called static, where if you make contact with... Oh, well, yeah, I already explained that with Pikachu, duh. Static. They have static, and they also have soundproof, which isn't as annoying because not many people are using, sound-based moves by now, which are growl. And you really don't have to worry about that. I think you send out Caterpie or something? Metapod. You won't have to worry about doing that, because Voltorbs aren't that threatening physically. What you do have to worry about, though... I mean, you don't have to worry about them killing themselves quite yet. They're not at the level to where they can learn Self-Destruct or Explosion. You do have to worry about Voltorb and Magnemite both knowing Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom is a weird move. Unlike other damaging moves, these ones do a fixed number of damage. What do I mean by that? So, Sonic Boom will always do 20 damage. Or, not 20 damage, 20 HP to the Pokemon. So, my Kingpin here, if it gets hit with Sonic Boom, it will knock me down to 14. It will always do 20 health. 20 hit points of... Not 20 hit points. 20 hit points of damage? It'll always take 20 HP away from you. It's really deadly, especially early in this game. There's another move that's really deadly called Dragon Rage, which is like Sonic Boom, except it's more accurate, because Sonic Boom is 90% accurate. Dragon Rage will do 40 to you all the time. And it is extremely deadly this early on, because most of your Pokemon will have just 40 HP or lower. It's a gnarly move. Those moves do fall off quick, though, in the mid to late game. Because, it's always 40 HP. And by that time, you'll have high enough HP to not worry about it. You'll pee your pants maybe a little bit, but there's not too much pee there. I really haven't had to skip any of these trainers, or cut some of these trainer fights out, because... I don't know, I've just been yapping about random shit. Is there anything else I want to re-yap about? I could yap about some music, because this is just a giant cave full of not much. Ooh, an escape rope. Escape ropes are nice. I can escape and go to the exit, but I don't want to, since we already made this progress. I went into that one. Okay. Boy, we haven't gotten very far. Excavating for fossils here. Sometimes Rocket Computer Gym lends me a hand. Okay. Kingpin is evolving!
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Zubat.
Our Kingpin has has evolved into Nidorino. Awesome. Let's see here. Let's check out them stats. Yeah! We're getting stronger. Fortunately, you won't see Fuzzy Wuzz evolve until a little bit later, because she evolves in the late 20s. And we're out of repels. Okay, this is where we're going to start doing a lot of cuts. Oh, Geodude! We haven't seen one of them since the Brock bite. You can find Geodudes here, like in most caves. That's about it. I don't mind them. I don't mind the Geodude family. Yeah, they got a lot of weaknesses because of their rock and ground typing. And rock typing is not the greatest type, but I don't mind them. I almost used Geodude on the team, but I had enough weaknesses, so yeah, not for me. But I do like them, especially the fully evolved form Golem sprite. The only problem with them is that you need to trade to fully evolve them. So if you don't have any friends, don't pick one up. Team Rocket member. Back to what I was saying about Nickelback. As a kid, when I first heard them, which I think I first heard them with the song Rockstar, I thought they were pretty good. I liked that song a shitload. Like, I had that thing on my MP3 player, and it was one of my favorite songs to listen to. And then I also heard Burn It Down, or I think that's it. Burn It Down to the Ground Tonight. Burn It Down to the Ground. I'm blanking on the right title here. It's one of those. I always confuse it with the Linkin Park song title. The title, not the song itself. They're vastly different song sounds. Sounding song. Ugh. They're vastly different sounding songs. That almost sounds right. Anyways. Yeah, I always confuse. I think they're slightly different in titles. Anyways, yeah, those were the two main Nickelback songs I heard, and I really liked Rockstar. Something about it just really spoke to me. Then I fell on the train of I guess making fun of Nickelback a little bit, because I think it was Photograph where I started really falling into the they're all right kind of crowd. Where I didn't really hate them, or poke fun of them, or thought they were like cheesy. Well, I mean, they're a little cheesy. Photograph is a little cheesy, but I think it's a good kind of cheesy in a way. I will say though, the memes were pretty funny. It was like, look at this photograph. There was one for Pokemon, and it was like, look at this Poliwrath. That was a fun time with me and one of my buddies, just watching one of those compilations of just what else can they put there instead of Photograph. Look at this graph. Really fun, and yeah, I will say it is fun to make fun of the kind of the grunge, post-grunge. I have heard it mentioned as like Jarl. It's like the that kind of thing. Something that like Creed does quite a bit. Scott Stapp from Creed go here. A lot of your grunge artists and post-grunge artists do that. Yes, there is a difference. What is it? There's a slight difference in the musical sound. But anyways, yeah, I did kind of fall into the not too big of a Nickelback. Haha, they're a little goofy crowd. But as I've gotten older, I started coming back to Nickelback, and man, I don't know. I really don't understand the hate. I'm like, yeah, I get it, they're campy, or they had a little cheesy hits, or they're more radio friendly, but they got some good, really do got some good tunes. Rockstar, like I mentioned, Sight of a Bullet, Burn It Down, How You Remind Me, Photograph isn't too bad. Those are all the ones I think I pretty much listen to at the moment. Probably more. It's kind of like Creed too. I think I've heard some people make fun of Creed for like similar reasons, but it's not as big of a reason like how Nickelback were made fun of for quite a while. Weird how I I can't remember how it started. It was like something, I think like a comedian or whatever made a joke about them, and then everyone was like, yeah, they do suck. I don't know. Creed's cool too. Well, that Nickelback talk lasted not as long as I thought it would. Oh well. A hiker. First time seeing a hiker here. Oh, here we go. Multi-hit move. Fury swipes. I talked about them briefly before. Yeah, look at that. 18 power, 80% accuracy. It's a little doo-doo. But for the memes, I'll use it for the memes. I'm a big gambler. I want to see how many times I can get this move to hit. I'm gonna say anything else. Let's see. Geodude going boom. Fury swipes are funny. Oh, Moonstone! Hey, we can evolve quite a bit of Pokemon. The Jigglypuff into Wigglytuff, Clefairy into Clefable, and Nidorinos and Nidorinas, and Nidoking and Nidoqueen respectively. I'm not gonna do that yet. Wait. Should I? No, I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm not gonna do that yet. You might be thinking, why the hell would you not do that? Having a fully evolved Pokemon right now, you just start sweeping things. There's a defensive reason I'm not going to do that. You'll see in a little bit. Let's keep on going. I've really not had to cut out much. I think that was the only wild Pokemon battle I've really wanted to cut out. Because I'm just yapping. Oh, there was one more thing. So, remember when I found that Oranberry? Okay, so berries are pretty neat. So berries, since they're food, you can give them to your Pokemon to hold on to, and they will consume it in battle. So if I give one of my Pokemon an Oranberry, if they're low on HP or well, if they need to use the freaking berry, if they've taken enough damage, they'll use it. Unlike if you gave them a potion, they won't use it. Oh, hey, Clefairy! These things are 6% of the time, and I was lucky enough to find the 1% in the first floor. That's cool, right? I think it is. Clefairies are cool. I like Clefairies. Underrated Pokemon. Goodbye. Not unless you're in competitive. Because at one point they weren't underrated. Little kids shouldn't be messing around with grown-ups. Could be bad news. I think it's the other way around. Grown-ups shouldn't be messing around with little kids. I will say running more will make you encounter Pokemon a little more. Be wary of that. That's why if you see me walking more than running in the cave, that's because I don't want to run into as many Pokemon. I think this is the final Team Rocket. We Team Rocket shall find the fossils. Reviving Pokemon from them will earn us huge riches. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's another thing about Zubats. They also learn confusion moves. What do I mean by that? You'll get the status Confusion, where you'll do... there's a chance you will hit yourself in Confusion, which is like it's basically a typeless move that will take your attack stat and use it against you. Physical attack stat, not special attack stat, thankfully. It'll calculate your physical attack stat and your physical defense, and whatever stat buffs and debuffs you have on you. So that's fun. So if you have a really high attack stat and low physical defense, ouchies. Just saying. Big ouchies. There's a hidden item right here. Another Moonstone. Nice, we got 2. Yep, here's the... Okay. Yeah, Zubats learn a lot of confusion moves. Well, they only have 2, but they generally will have 1. Either Confuse Ray or Supersonic. The funny thing is about Supersonic, it's only 55% accurate. You'll find them hitting them quite often. Hey, stop. I found these fossils. They're both mine. I don't know why I gave him that voice. Super Turd Miguel has a Grimer. Grimer, we won't be able to see or catch these for a while. Will we be able to see them? I don't think so. Yeah, we won't be able to see these for like a long while again. But, it's cool he has one. Let's try Fury Swipes. So Grimers are kind of a pain in the ass to kill because they have quite a bit of special bulk to them. And then they do this shit where they raise their lower defense stat. Now they make it hard to kill. And then on top of that, they learn a move called Minimize, which will raise their evasion, meaning they can dodge moves more. So your 100% accurate move will just not matter to them. Oh, and they can also disable, but disable is kind of hit or miss. It's fairly inaccurate anyways. What that does is that it just prevents you from using a certain move for a few turns. Or at least until you switch out. It becomes a pain in the ass when it's your main method of attacking. Oh, and coughing! These are kind of version exclusives in a way. One's a little more common, I think, than the other, in one version than the other. Anyways, you won't be seeing coughing for quite a bit, like Grimer. It's actually quite the opposite of Grimer, where it has more physical defense than special defense. I like coughing more because in this game, they get a better ability than Grimer. Whatever. The other thing is, though, is that they do have poison gas, which means it's basically a move that will always poison you if it hits. So that's annoying. Coughings are cool. They get the ability Levitate, which makes them immune to ground type attacks. So that gets rid of one of poison type's weaknesses, and it has it only be weak to psychic type moves or any strong special attack, because it doesn't really have high special defense, but it's still a great Pokemon. It's one of my personal favorites. I thought about using it here, but decided against it. Same with Grimer. My reasoning is the point where you can get them is kind of late into the game. Well, no, scratch that. The point where you can get coughings commonly is pretty late in the game. There is a method where you can get both Grimer and coughing fairly early, but the problem is they're super rare. I mean, 1% of the time, and it's in like one area, and it's, oh my god, I didn't want you guys to suffer through the headache. I didn't want to suffer through the headache of finding that 1% encounter rate. Because god dang. Plus, yeah, Grimer would have replaced, I had Grimer on the team for quite a while until I changed out for Nidoran there. Because it showed up earlier and it wasn't a 1% encounter. And another thing, I will say, if you do decide to grab a Grimer, you will be waiting quite a while before it evolves. It evolves at level 38. Whereas coughing evolves at like 35. So, I mean, kind of late for coughing, but like, that's fairly normal, like, fully evolved starter Pokemon kind of level. I do have antidotes. Yes, your starter Pokemon do fully evolve at like level 36, except for the Bulbasaur family, who are special, and they evolve at level 32. Fully evolve at level 32, which is, I think that's cool, but, yeah, that's about it for fun facts. Okay, so these are the fossils. We can pick only 2. Sorry, scratch that. You can pick only 1. There's only 2. You can you? I don't know if you can get the other one in the post-game. I don't think you can. There might be a way of getting it. I will have to check later. But I know in the main story you can only get 1 of these. There is another fossil you can grab, but we can't grab it yet because we don't have a specific thing we can do to get that yet. So I will show that. So we have here the Helix fossil and the Dome fossil. These will become Kabuto from the Dome and Ammonite from the Helix. The Helix fossil is notorious for big old Pokemon community thing that happened on Twitch called Twitch Plays Pokemon, where basically a bunch of the Twitch community, or just viewers of Twitch, got to control their Pokemon character here, the person you play as. They got to control it. They each had control of one button, so one person could control the B button or the A button or whatever they put down, and it was really chaotic. And they had this like whole kind of, they actually had this whole lore to it. It's really neat to learn about. I'd recommend checking that out. Twitch Plays Pokemon is what it's called, and they pretty much gave the title of the Helix fossil, basically made that into like a god. In reality, Omanyte becoming Amistar at level 37. Oh my, 37? Is it 37? I think it's level 40. It's level fucking 40 is when it fully evolves, I believe. You won't be, and the time you get to revive this thing isn't until very late. So you won't, and it comes out at like level 25, I think, or level 20, which is nice, because I think in the original games, it was like level 10 or level 15. So, oh my god, you won't be using this thing for like a long-ass time. How are they as Pokemon? Well, they have the dual typing of Rock Water, so they're quad weak to grass. Kabutops, well, Kabuto, which evolves into Kabutops, is the faster and more physical oriented, meaning it uses more physical attacks, has a higher physical attack stat, and is a lot faster. It has a pretty solid physical defense. They both have good physical defense, strangely. You would think one would have better special defense and the other one would have more physical, by the way they were made, but no, both have really great physical defense. Amistar, or Ammonite and its evolved form Amistar have more physical defense, I believe, but they're more special attacking oriented, but they're slower too. Personally, I like the Ammonite and Amistar family more. They both have the same ability of battle armor and shell armor, I believe. I think that either they both have that, or it's the one has shell armor, the other one has battle armor. It's basically the same thing. It's basically the same ability where it prevents you from getting critical hitted, or taking critical hit damage. So it's cool, and they also have the Swift Swim ability, which doubles their speed in rain. They both got to use it pretty well in competitive. So it really just up to you. Since Rock is physical, does physical damage in this generation, Kabutops will be doing more with that than its water typing, which does special damage, and then Amistar has the opposite, where it provides more in its water than it does its rock typing. So I always choose the Ammonite and Amistar family, so we're going to be a little different and choose the Dome Fossil. Alright, then this fossil is mine. If you're playing yellow, you would have one more... If you're playing yellow, you would have one more battle to fight before you exit, but... we leave this cave? Okay, we leave this cave and come out at Route 4. Here in Route 4, there's not much here but a bunch of ledges. And these two dudes. A punch of roaring ferocity, packed with destructive power. When the chips are done... when the chips are down, Mega Punch is the ultimate attack. You agree, yes? Now let me teach it to your Pokemon. This is a one-time thing. If you teach it to one of your Pokemon, you cannot get it again. So be very wise on who you want to teach it to. Mega Punch is an 80 power normal type move with 80% accuracy. A little risque, but it's a solid move, especially this early. Quite good. Only Peter and Fuzzy Wuzz can learn it at this point. If I had used the Moonstone on Kingpin here, he would have learned it too. For the sake of, do I want to? Yeah, why not? We'll give Mega Punch to Peter. Why not? Give Peter a little power-up boost, because he doesn't really get much in the ways of moves quite yet. I mean, he can learn some good TMs, but those TMs come a little later, and his level up learn set is not that stunning. seen by the misguided fool. And then here's the misguided fool. A kick of brutal ferocity, packed with destructive power. When you get right down to it, Mega Kick is the ultimate attack. Don't you agree? Okay, I'll teach it to your Pokemon. Much like Mega Punch, it's a normal type move. It's 120 base power, but 70% accurate. But it is so strong. Especially this early on, and I want to teach it to Fuzzy Wuzz. For the shits and giggles. Look at this. Oh, 75, so it's even a little better. It's so strong this early on in the game. Do I have a reasoning for teaching it so soon and not waiting until I get another Pokemon? Yeah. Because the other Pokemon I want on my team, sure, like, think a Kingpin, when he fully evolves, can learn it, and another Pokemon that I'm gonna get can learn it too, but, like, why would I not do it now? You know what? This is more gambling. We're to get rid of the weaker gambling move for the stronger gambling move in Mega Kick. Okay, so yeah, now we can't use those guys again, but like, who cares? I'm gonna be honest. Mega Kick and Mega Punch will be replaced later on. They're not really on any of the final move sets that I have in mind, but like, they're just here for some power upgrades. Because why the hell not? Oh, no, and a TM for Roar. Roar is funny. So it does have a sister move in Whirlwind, and they basically act the same. They're negative priority, which means you will always be going last when you use it, no matter how fast you are. What it does is that it lets you swap out the opponent's Pokemon. Yeah, it's kind of neat, but like, I don't use it in like standard like casual play, because since it's negative priority, you'll be taking damage, and I don't know, like, my fast Pokemon learning it, and they're not. I don't know. I don't really care for it. Like I said, it's kind of neat. They both just, you know, let you swap out an opponent's Pokemon if they have more than one, and if they're not fainted. And just like that, since we hopped over this ledge, we cannot go back to Mount Moon, or Pewter City, or Viridian City, or Pallet Town, or Viridian Forest until we get to a certain point in the game. So I hope you got whatever you need to done there, because we're not going back there for a little bit. So it seems like I've been like stopping at the Pokemon Center a lot. It's just an easy checkpoint to have. Like, after every episode, I end at the Pokemon Center. And I apologize for how long these episodes are. I don't mean to. I just ramble a lot. So, 47 minutes later, we're here. In Cerulean City, home of our second gym. So, next time on Pokemon FireRed, we'll hopefully be challenging the gym. See you guys later. Good night, everybody.